Let's go back to talking about this investigation. This was a 787, a Boeing. These are relatively new aircraft. Let's talk about the safety record and how sort of, out of place this is.
Yeah, this aircraft particularly was 11 years old. The Boeing 787 Dreamliner first came into service around 2013. If you kind of recall, 12 years ago, there were some issues with the battery packs on those airplanes, and there were some fires that redesigned the batteries and how they're handling. But ever since then, it's been fine. In fact, this is the first crash of a 787 that was airborne. So this is actually quite incredible. So that's why it's doubly important to get the facts and see the data.
When you're looking at this video, we're of course showing it right now to our viewers, once again, not showing the moment of impact, but you can see the plane obviously taking off, and then it starts to lose elevation. It almost looks as though it's potentially trying to land again. What do you make of as you say, like the investigation's still ongoing, but what do you make of what you're actually seeing here in this video?
I mean, just as a caution to viewers and listeners, and I've covered a lot of air crashes and incidents, that typically the average incident or crash is the culmination of a cascading series of issues that culminate in that final event, the crash. So there's a lot to still go over. Looking at that, I mean, there's been a number of theories. One is loss of power to both engines, which would be extremely rare. There could be compressor failure of an engine. One engine alone, though, is enough to safely take off. To have both of them fail, somebody pointed out to a bird strike. If you remember the miracle on the Hudson when a captain at U.S. Airways landed, a flight took off from New York LaGuardia Airport. A Canada geese flock, both engines failed, landed the aircraft in the river. And although this airport in India, Ahmedabad, is known to have a lot of birds, to have a twin strike like that, I think it's hard to believe. Other issues, somebody's talked about the flaps. If the flaps are not set in a certain way, you don't have enough lift for takeoff. But the 787 is designed so that if the pilots start a takeoff roll without the flaps in the right configuration, there will be a warning signal. The only other thing I can think of is either fuel starvation from a blockage in the fuel system or fuel contamination. At airports, we rigorously check the quality and standards of fuel every day to make sure there isn't water in the system. But again, once we get the data from the voice box and also from the data from the black box with data, that's going to help us understand a bit better, as well as the account from the one sole survivor, a British national.
Okay, Robert Kokonis, that's all the time we have. You're president of Air Trav and Aviation analyst. Really appreciate your time and getting your analysis on this. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.